Recently, I was a judge in an online speech competition. 11 participants chose their own topic and had 90 seconds to make their point. I based my score of their performance on 3 criteria. Language. Did they use correct grammar, correct syntax? Second, style and fluency. Did they express themselves using natural English? How fluent were they? Did they express themselves easily and without long pauses? Finally, logic and structure. Was their speech logical? Was it easy to follow? And did it contain clear signposting or links between sections? Here is what we learned during this session. First, eliminate language errors. I'm referring to grammar and syntax, word order, especially in short competitions. There's no excuse not to have your speech practiced to perfection. It's only 90 seconds, assuming, of course, that the competition is important to you. Second, practice matters. Record yourself. Eliminate the unnecessary pauses or the filler sounds such as Number 3, start well. Have your first line memorized and make it memorable, or at least logical. But with only 90 seconds, you don't have time to hesitate or beat around the bush. So if you're talking about the benefits of organ donation, for example, you have a few options for your first sentence. You could start with a definition. This is a conservative opening, but logical and well-structured. Organ donation is the process by which people agree to give an organ of their own to another person for the betterment of that person's life. Alternatively, you may want to begin with your main idea, given you don't have much time. Organ donation should be mandatory for all deceased who have not specifically requested otherwise. More daring and creative might be this opening. Donating an organ puts the music back into another person's life. Here we have a play on the word organ, which has 2 meanings, a part of the body and a musical instrument, like a piano. So when you put the music back into someone's life, you save it. But you can also literally listen to it. This is an interesting option because it creatively discusses your main idea, which of course will need to be defined further, but it also reveals your linguistic creativity. And as this competition was language-based among second language learners of English, this option becomes even more interesting. And since it's difficult to pull off or execute, you often receive more credit for it. And when you really want to be creative, at the end of your talk, you might refer back to the opening line with something like this: please don't stop the music. A metaphor for helping to prolong someone's life through an organ transfer. This musical theme unifies your talk in an interesting and memorable way. I'll have more to say about this sort of unity during a video on essay writing and on presentations. Finally, you could begin with an interesting statistic. 1 organ donor can save up to 8 lives. That's 2 average-sized families. Point number 4, posture and voice projection. Project confidence. Have your shoulders back, your head up. Speak confidently and deeply, which means that you are breathing properly. In fact, in this competition that I judged, the top 2 speakers had the best posture. That might have been a coincidence, but I rather doubt it. By the way, I don't mind if people glance at their notes, if you've written out your speech, so long as you're not burying your head in the text and so long as you're maintaining eye contact with the audience. Point number 5, structure your talk to make it easy for people to follow. Provide a clear but short introduction, provide at least 2 pieces of evidence to support your main idea, and assist the audience with linking words such as first, second, or finally. If your listeners get lost in the midst of your talk, you have no chance to influence or convince them of your point. This 6th point deals with the topic that the participants chose to talk about. Either select an unusual theme or take an unusual stance on a common theme. So, for example, one person spoke on the benefits of unity. This is a rather obvious notion that doesn't require a lot of coaxing on the part of the speaker, unless you surprise the audience by discussing the disadvantages of unity. Then we're all ears, because this is a counterintuitive example. In other words, it's contrary to common sense, since unity is generally understood as a positive thing. And finally, make sure the title of your talk corresponds to the content. Two of the participants strayed from their titles. In one, the title was their greatest personal achievement, but the first half of the talk was devoted to the failure of the company in which they eventually achieved success in. In the other, on social media in government, the speaker dwelled on government autocracy for too long before finally getting to the social media part. So let's review what we've learned from this speech competition, starting from the last point. The title should correspond to the content. Adopt an unusual theme or an unusual position on a common theme. Structure your talk with a clear introduction, body, and a short conclusion by utilizing transition words. Adopt a confident posture and project your voice. Start well. The first sentence matters. Rehearse your speech and eliminate silly little language errors. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and tell others who also need to improve their presentations about this video.